Hello. As you know, cruising has been on a pause for the last year, due to coronavirus. Last March, the CDC set a no-sail order, preventing cruise lines from departing the United States, after several ships had an outbreak, leaving passengers stuck on board. Over the last year, with no sailings, the cruise lines have made major changes in on-board safety procedures such as social distancing requirements, better health services, quarantine cabin areas if necessary, and more. They have also made physical changes to the ships, such as installing better ventilation systems, ultraviolet systems that kill viruses, and hand sanitizer stations throughout the ship. In October 2020, the no-sail order was suspended and replaced with a conditional no-sail order. This new order did not ban cruising, but instead set certain criteria that the cruise lines should follow in order to sail. These include test sailings and other plans that the cruise lines would follow in order to ensure that cruising is safe. During this time, cruising has resumed in Europe and other countries, and has shown that with the steps the cruise lines have taken, ships have been either coronavirus-free, or in a few circumstances, where it has been on board, was quarantined and treated successfully. Fast forward to today, with European cruising open, and a few American cruise lines ready to depart from the Bahamas, circumventing the CDC's order, Americans are ready to sail again. And the state of Florida is ready to allow them. This past week, Governor Ron DeSantis held a roundtable discussion with other Florida political leaders, cruise line CEOs, and even owners of businesses that depend on cruise lines for their businesses. You can view that roundtable in the link above. Florida is the largest cruise area in the world, with many cruise ports, the largest being the Port of Miami, Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale, and Port Canaveral. Acknowledging that the cruise industry brings billions of dollars a year to the state of Florida, Governor DeSantis vows to bring back cruising this summer. ABC News is reporting that the governor will sue the CDC if necessary to have a start of cruising this summer. I'll be right back to bring you the full details of that article. Welcome back. And thanks for staying through the intro. If you're new to our channel, please click the subscribe button as well as the bell, that way YouTube will let you know whenever we upload a new video. Also, did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest cruise travel news? We now offer a totally free cruise information text messaging service. To join, simply text the word cruise to 30557492213. Again, this is a totally free service. As I said before the intro, ABC News is reporting that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is prepared to sue the CDC in order to restart cruising in Florida this summer. Here is that article. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis ripped into the federal government's continued pandemic ban on cruise ships using U.S. ports, threatening Friday to file a lawsuit if one of the state's biggest tourism sectors is not allowed to resume operations soon. Appearing at Port Canaveral with leaders from Carnival, Norwegian, Disney and Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, DeSantis and Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody said they are exploring the state's legal options if the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention does not allow U.S.-based cruising to resume by summer. The state is the nation's cruise capital with three of the world's busiest ports, Miami, Port Canaveral near Kennedy Space Center, and Port Everglades near Fort Lauderdale. Millions typically cruise from Florida each year, and the industry generates billions for the state's economy. DeSantis said the continued ban is only hurting Florida, with no effect on the pandemic, as cruising is resuming elsewhere in the world and Americans are flying to the nearby Bahamas to board ships. Is it okay for the government to just idle an industry for a year? The Republican governor said. He said people now need to decide for themselves what they are willing to risk. The CDC shut down the cruise industry a year ago, when several coronavirus outbreaks were tied to ships worldwide. DeSantis and industry leaders argued Friday that with widespread testing and vaccines becoming more available, the danger is now no worse than air and train travel, which are open. Cruising has resumed with restrictions and protocols in much of the world, with the industry leaders saying there have been no new outbreaks tied to their ships. The CDC did not immediately respond to an email Friday seeking comment. It issued guidelines in October that require cruise ships conduct mock voyages to test procedures and have onboard testing labs before passengers would be allowed, but no further guidance has been issued, leaving the ban effectively in place. Cindy Prince, a University of Florida epidemiologist, defended the ban, saying it is still too early for cruise ships to operate. Unlike other modes of transportation, families and groups on cruises mingle and dine together for long periods, increasing the likelihood of spread, she said, and testing and symptom screening are not perfect methods of prevention. She said cruise lines would need to limit passengers and crew to those who can prove they are fully vaccinated to avoid spreading the virus. No industry leader suggested Friday that would be a requirement if they resume U.S. operations, and DeSantis expressed opposition to requiring vaccination for participation in the economy. Moody, also a Republican, said if a lawsuit is filed, it would challenge the ban as based on medical information that is out of date and no longer valid. When you have a government that is working against the interests and vitality of its citizens it serves, that is a problem. And historically, you can see how that leads to the demise and destruction of those they are trying to govern, Moody said. More than 8 million passengers cruised from Florida in 2019, the last full year before the pandemic. The Cruise Lines International Association estimates that 150,000 jobs in the state are created by the industry, including dependent jobs at hotels, restaurants, and airlines, generating nearly $8 billion in wages. Almost all of that has been wiped out. Industry leaders appearing with DeSantis and Moody complained that little movement has been made in the U.S. toward reopening, even though cruises have resumed in the Caribbean, Europe, the Mediterranean, Australia, and Asia. Let's get people back to the work. The health situation has changed, said Thomas Masloom, president of Disney Cruise Line. Cruise lines are cruising very successfully outside the United States, proving that with the right protocols cruising is a very safe and beautiful experience. So, what do you think? Is the United States ready to restart cruising? Do you think that Florida should sue the CDC to jumpstart the industry, allowing passengers to sail before the conditional no-sail order is set to expire in November? Let us know what you think in the comments below this video. Lastly, did you know that we have our own Facebook community? We'd love to see you as our newest member. There is a link in the description of this video. Thanks for watching, we look forward to seeing your comments. See you next time.